This conference will now be recorded.
So what I was discussing in the last session, I think we established a connection with the database, right? And then we fired some query, select star from product, right? And we got a response in a tabular format. We converted that into a JSON format. That's what we have seen, right? So what is this? I mean, request JSON DB. So let's deploy. What is the response I got? All the product names, right? Let's deploy this application first. Is it practice done from everyone's side?
I am yet to do
Yeah.
this. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, even I'm lagging a little bit.
So use the weekends. Use the weekends. If weekends are, I mean, if you are able to utilize that, and your sessions will not get piled up. So it is deployed, right? Let me give a request once. See, I got all the products, right? You have seen this response earlier also. Now every product is having some brand name, right? I want to filter the products based on a brand name. So I have a first product HP, second product Apple, third Apple, fourth IBM, fifth Motorola, sixth Samsung. Different products, but Apple I have two products. So basically, when the client is sending some query parameter with the product name equal to, let's take HP, when client is sending this request, I want to get a response only HP products. So what is the query I can change in the select operation? Select star from product. Where clause can I use? Where
And
where brand underscore name, brand underscore name, if it is equal to HP, I can hard code the value, but hard coding is not a best practice. So what I can do in that case, can I give some placeholder syntax like this, and a variable name, b name. You can use any variable name for that matters. So for this b name variable, I need to extract the query parameter from the event, and that value to be sent as an input to this query. So how to pass the input arguments? By using a data view expression. By using this fx button, I will switch to expression mode where I can write a data view expression. See, already b name is taken as a output metadata, and from where I need to fetch the query params from the attributes in the input section. So if input and output is defined, simply I can drag and drop. It is not allowed because header is missing on the right side. But default syntax is missing on the right side. So I just given the header. Now from the query params, let me drag and drop onto the b name. So attributes dot query params dot, what is the key? Product name is the key. That's it. So now you can save this application one more time. So what is the response expected? 5 HP as as an output value. So what is the response expected?
Only HP products.
Only HP product. Is it deployed or not? Yes, we can see only HP product here. Let's go with Apple. Am I getting Mac products? Two Mac products here. Yes or no? Yes, guys. Two Mac products. Yeah. So basically, we can fire the queries and we can retrieve the data. Now let's go to configuration XML and just have an observation. How many global elements I have and what are the configurations about it. How many global elements I have in this XML file? You can see.
Two we have.
Hmm?
Two global elements.
Two, what are those? HTTP listener and database connection. In that database connection, I'm using MySQL as a product. In that, what are the configurations I have given? Host, port, user, and a password. Correct? Yes or no? Now, let's go back to the notepad. Let's take there are two environments. There are two environments. One is production environment, and one more is development environment. Or else let's take this is the development and that is a production. Okay, so this is the development environment, this is the production environment. Every environment will be having their own database. Okay, now assume I exported that application, I built that application and exported it. So what type of file you are going to get here? If I export this application, what type of file you are going to get?
Jar
So
file.
if I export any file, any mule application, it will be a jar file, right?
Yeah.
Now, in this jar file, sorry, if I want to deploy this application into the development environment, this application will point to which database? Development environment related database. If I want to deploy this application production environment, this application will point to which database?
Production database.
Dev database only. Because what are the connection details I have given? Tell me. One is host. What is that? Local host. Port number 3306. Username root. Password root. So am I not hard coding the values which are related to development environment at your application level? At a connection level, not sorry, not at application level, at a connection level, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Correct. So if I want to migrate this application between the development and production or any other environments, if that is a requirement, so what is an idea? Hard coding is not a best practice. So we should not hard code the values. So what I can do in this case, I want to externalize the values so that values can be passed while runtime. So for that you need to use some semantic dollar, open the curly brace and a close, open the curly brace and a close, open the curly brace and a close. Basically here we need to write a key. So basically you need to pass some placeholders. We'll call this as what? Placeholders. From where these values will be fetched? We have to externalize the properties. Three properties I want to externalize: host, user, and a password. Okay. So what I can do generally in any programming language, what you will do for every environment, we will externalize that to some property files, isn't it? we will externalize to some property file. Hmm? So here in Mule 4 it supports YML files also at another markup language. What is it? At another markup language. So here I will use 01 database. Sorry. I will use some naming conventions. DB hyphen, since it's a development environment related properties, I will call that as DB hyphen dev.ml file. And here also DB hyphen prod.ml file. Of course, they don't have a production environment, just for demonstration purpose. Okay. So two files, DB hyphen dev or DB hyphen prod. Okay. So here it is a host. I will configure host, username, password. So what will be the host as of now? Let's take it's a local host. Username is what? Root. Password is root. Yeah. Here also, if I write like this, it will become a property file. But what I can do in YAML files, we can follow some other approach, parent to child combination approach. So the parent and child combination is DB is the parent colon, two spaces as a delimiters you should use. So DB host, DB user, DB password. What is the host for development environment? Local host. User is root. Password is root. Okay. Similarly, in the production environment also what I can do? Same. DB host, user, and a password. So what is the host? Where the application are deployed, the production server. So prod host. Username is, of course, assume it's a root as a username and password. So these two are related to the different environments. Now somehow I need to pass these values to database connection. This is the connection. Somehow I need to pass this to connection. How I can pass this connection? Yes, any idea? We need to give the key. What is the parent? DB is the parent, host is a child. DB is the parent, user is a child. So DB is the parent, password is a child. So what I can use here? DB dot host. If I deploy this into a development environment, if I pick this file to be passed as an input file, so what are the configurations related to db.host? Localhost. What is the configuration related to db.user? What is the configuration related to db.password? So you need to identify like this. Okay. Main point is, while running the application, you need to pass which file to be considered. If you are deploying in the development environment, you need to consider dev file. So that is while runtime you need to pass that while runtime. So what is the configuration which is which is pointing to that file? In the global element, you need to configure one component called configuration properties. Configuration properties. In that it will ask for the file name, which file you want to pick up. For example, if I give db-dev.ml file, which file will you pick up all the times?
Dev file.
Always it will pick up the dev file. No point in externalizing the properties to some other file, right? Environment specific files. So what I can do, instead of passing the dev, can I pass some placeholder, like how I place the placeholders here? Dollar curly brace open and close. For example, x is the key. For this x I need to pass the value. Okay. Now the point is, all your mule applications are Java applications. If you want to pass any Java command, or if you want to run the Java application and you want to pass any runtime arguments, what is the command? Java is the command. Java is the command to run a Java application, the file name. And if you want to pass the runtime arguments, what is the syntax? Hyphen D, key and a value. So hyphen D, what is the key? X is the key, value will be dev. So this dev will be passed in this place. So finally it will become db hyphen dev.ml file. So this dev.ml file will be selected under the db.host what is the value that will be passed to the database connection. So this concept is called what? What is this concept called? Externalization, right? So first step is what? We need to create environment specific property files. Second, we need to configure which file to be taken under the configuration properties. Third one, we need to configure in the database connection some placeholders. Correct? Understood?
Sujit, here you are defining this YAML file, right? Instead of YAML
Yeah.
file, we can have properties file also, right? Like there will be
Yes, of
something like,
course. Of course. Better than property file, YAML file is a better file, right? Instead of writing a keys multiple times, you can write the parent only one time. In the
okay,
property files, you need to write DB host, DB user, DB password. If you have 100, you need to write times 10 times 100. So some advantages are there. You can use any for that matters.
okay.
Okay. So let me explain this concept of externalization with the help of some other project. Import a project called 02 externalization start. Where I stopped in the database endpoint, same place I am going to start from the externalization also. But why I choose the I have a different project, I will let you know when I talk about the domains. So how many projects are related to database concept here? As of now, you can see two projects are
Two
related
pro-
to database concept, right? Remember that point.
yes,
Okay, let's see the configurations. See, design have been done long back, right? Maybe I will be keep on changing. So I'm just selecting, just checking what are the connector details and all. Modify Maven dependency. 8.0 point, mine is 19. So finish. And as of now, let it be localhost 3306 username, mule training DB and all. That's fine. And what is the query I have fired here? What is the query I fired? Select star from product where I have given B name, right? Let's change to the same place exactly what I have written. And I hope it is a product name, not a brand name here. Product name. Okay. Just I'm changing it to our configurations. Okay. Next, at the transformer level, we are changing it to JSON format. Finally, logger will display the payload. Simple. Okay. Now, in order to achieve this acceleration concept, what is the first step? We need to create an environment specific file. So where additional resources can be placed under SRC main resources. Right click on that new file. So I will follow some naming conventions as I said. db hyphen dev dot YAML file. So what are the configurations I need to do? If you participate, it will be very good. db is the parent, two spaces are the
port,
delimiters, host, localhost.
port. Okay, no, sorry.
I just want to exercise only three: host, user, and password. Port, if you want, you can do that. Otherwise, you can ignore. So user, um,
Root,
root, address should be same. The attributes, whatever you are passing here, that should be same. Okay. Otherwise, it will give some error. It will unable to identify. Right. So let's create one more file for a production environment. So here also db hyphen prod.ml file. Okay. db.prod.ml file. But here I don't have a production environment. Just prod host. I need to change. Save it. Step is done. What is the second step? we need to pick up either of the files. Which file you want that it can be done from the global element by creating a configuration property. Configuration property. What it says, reference is a file with a configuration property. Each property has a key and a value. Correct? User db.user, db.host, db.password. Those are having a values also. User and password. Sorry, key and a value. The key can be referenced from the mule configuration file using the following semantic. Is it the same semantic which I'm going to use in my connection level? Yeah, and
Yes.
this allows to externalize configuration and changes based on the environment where the application is being to deploy, right? So what is the file name I can give? db hyphen, I need to use some placeholder by using the semantic. So I'm going to pass some environment variable, so I will give us my env. It's some key. For understanding purpose, I said X, right? Instead of X, I will follow some standard keys. My env dot YAML. So it's not mandatory. You can use any that for that matters. Okay. Now I selected this is the file to be taken. Once the file is picked up, where the values to be sent, database connection level. So what are the properties I externalized instead of hard coding that? Again, I need to write a semantic. I want to write a db is the parent, dot reference, under that what is the child you want to extract? Host. User also db dot user, db dot password. If you want to externalize the port number, you can do that. If you want to externalize the database name, you can externalize that as well. If I click on test connection, it will throw an exception because we have not passed any value to the database details. So it is not able to identify for which application we are passing the values. Correct? So all the three configurations, is it done from my side? Created a file, created a configuration property, and from the file how the values to be passed to the configuration, I given that value also, right? So can I deploy this application now? How to deploy this application? Right click, run the project. Will not work. Will not work because we are not passing the, I mean, straight away. We need to pass the runtime argument. So right click on the project, run as mule application configure. Which application you want to deploy? 0 to externalizing start project, and you want to pass the VM arguments. So what is the syntax, guys? Hyphen D. What is the key I used? My env equal to, I will just pass dev. If I run the project, what happens now in this case? Yeah, what happens in this case? This dev will be passed to the syntax what I use the placeholder db hyphen dev.aml file. It will become as a db hyphen dev.aml file, and this diode.yaml file will be picked up when it is reading the database connection. Since here also I given some semantic db.host. What is the db.host for the file? Localhost. So that will be point to the connection details.
So Sujit, when we are externalizing this, we are using that dollar and that flower
Semantic.
brackets and yeah, that
Yeah, that
semantics
is a
and
syntax.
yeah. And when we are referring for secure properties, that is a different way,
We'll
right?
come to the. We'll
Like
come to. We'll go slowly. Next.
okay,
That is the next. Completed MuleSoft already.
no,
So let me send the request. I should get the same response. Yes, am I getting the same response? Let's change that value to HP. I think you asked the same question earlier also. This question, not that what you asked about externalization. You asked earlier also, correct?
correct,
I
correct.
told
Yes,
it will be done in the further courses. So this is the. I mean, we'll go in a sequence actually, one by one, instead of
ah,
missing the concepts randomly. Okay.
okay.
So HP. So I had done the externalization concept, right? So now assume I exported this application out of the studio and I have given to Guru. He is from different team and he imported this jar file, this externalization start project jar file, and he opened that project and he opened that dev.ml file. So is he able to see my credentials, my database credentials? Yes, right. Is able to see
Yes.
my credentials. Configuring the credentials at application level, is it a best practice? No, right? So what I can do
Yes.
otherwise? I need to somehow mask these values. I need to somehow mask these values. What do you mean by masking the values?
Encrypting.
So I need to encrypt these values. So for encryption, what algorithm to be used? What is the mode? What is the key you can use? All these things will be decided by your architects. You don't need to worry. MuleSoft support wide variety of algorithms. Wide variety of algorithm. Okay. So db hyphen sorry so I want to encrypt these properties. So MuleSoft has given one application, Java based application. uh, the intention of that application, the responsibility of that application is to encrypt the values for which file you need to provide the input file. For example, if I want to encrypt the file values present in the dev file, you need to give this file as an input to the Java application. You know how to pass -d key value place, right? So in order to, and also you need to provide some syntaxes like which file to be encrypted. After encryption, what is the file it is going to throw one new file with the encrypted values. For that file, what is the file name you need to give? Okay. And what else? You need to give what is the algorithm, what is the mode, and what is the key to encrypt the values, because that key is definitely required. If you want to decrypt the values again, that key is required, right? So there is one Java application where we can pass this input file db-dev.yaml file as an input file, and after encryption it is going to throw a new file with a db hyphen, what do you call that, uh, something name I need to give, which representing the production, which representing the secure file, the secure properties. Okay, basically the encrypted values. So if I pass that encrypted values to the database connection, it will not able to understand it. So before passing the connection details, which is in a secured, we need to pass it to as a uh, decrypted values. Before that, we need to decrypt. So in order to decrypt again, in MuleSoft there is one module. At your Anypoint Studio level, you can find out that secure properties module. By using that module, again we can decrypt that and we can send it to the database connection. So basically, we are trying to do the encryption by using a Java application and decryption by using a module in Mule. Okay. So first, how to encrypt? I want to encrypt the values present in the dev file. Let's open the document. Lab documents, what I have given to you. In that lab documents, if we can see 06 externalization concept. Yeah, in this 06 externalization concept, just to scroll it down. Go to step 3, where it will talk about securing the property, encrypting your externalized properties. So just go to the link where you can find out the document. Just go to the browser and instead of 4.3, just change it to 4.4. That's it. It will take you to the directly to the documents of the MuleSoft, where you can encrypt the properties using a secure properties tool. If you click on this link, it will be giving one jar file I already provided to you after downloading in your documents itself. So secure properties tool It's a jar file. Jar file means Java based application. MuleSoft has created this application. Okay. So if it is a Java application, we need to run some Java command. And if you want to pass any runtime arguments, also you can pass to that, right? So if you go to the documentation, there how to encrypt the syntax is given. Okay, instead of I mean, I just scripted in our understandable way in this here. So basically, what is a command? Java command, and where the secure property tool is present. This is the domain. I mean, where you can find out that, where you can find out the class path. CP means class path, and this is the general command. Okay, you can just follow that, and you are going to encrypt a file or decrypt a file. You need to mention that out of these two. What algorithm you are using, you need to mention that, and for that algorithm, what is the corresponding mode, you need to mention that. After that, you can see the key. What is the key? What is the key you can use? And what is the input file you want to encrypt? And after encryption, it is going to throw new file. What is the name of the output file you want? So you need to fill up this form. Once you fill this form, once you fill that command, it will look like this. What it says, I am going to encrypt. Out of this encrypt or decrypt, I have given encrypt. Which algorithm? I'm using a blowfish algorithm. As I told you, architects will decide which algorithm to be used. And what is the mode? CBC is the mode. And what is the key? A to P alphabets is the key. And input file dev file db-dev.yaml file is the dev file. Output file I just added as a secure hyphen dev.yaml file. Okay. So purposefully I'm adding secure one. Okay, as a dev.yaml file. Now copy this command. You need to run this command from where? cd to the directory where your secure property tool is present. In this lab docs only I have. Yes or no? So
Yeah.
cmd to the directory, because I want to run the Java application. While running the Java application, I need to pass all these input arguments. Right? I'm using Glowfish and a to P as a alphabet. I mean alpha. You can use alphanumeric also as a key. Okay. So now when I pass the dev file, one second. So let me take the dev file from where? Here, db-dev.yaml file. So copy the dev file, place it in the same directory when it is created 39 just now. Okay, dev file. So I need to run the command where it is going to pick up this dev.yaml file as an input file. So let's click on enter. Is it created one more file? Just copy that file to src main resources. Just open that file. It is not encrypted properly. It is not encrypted properly. Reason, this is a common mistake will be done by everyone. Whenever you are passing the values, those should be in a string format. Please remember, those should be in a string format. Otherwise, your secure property tool will not able to read the values. So delete
But
that error file.
Sujit,
Hmm,
one
yeah,
question. How did you identify it is not encrypted properly? It looked all like
based on
encrypted
experience.
properly. Okay.
You can hover the mouse over there. That is a syntax issue. I mean, you need to identify what it is. Okay, based on
Okay.
the syntax, what if you hover the mouse there of the error, it will show you there the reason. Okay,
Okay.
now just take the dev file again and place that in the same place. Run the command again. Again, it will create one more new file. Just copy that file in the sources. Now open the file. Is it encrypted properly? Earlier there was a syntax issue. Now no issue. But are you able to read the values? Are you able to identify what are these values? No,
No.
right? If you are not able to understand, but how my database connection will understand that? No, right? It will not able to understand. So what I should do? Before passing the value to this database connection, we need to decrypt that
Decrypt.
values as well. How to decrypt? See which file, which global element is responsible to pick the file from the resources? Configuration properties, correct? In that configuration property, is there any mechanism to decrypt the values? This configuration property can be used only when you are reading the values from a plain file, otherwise no use. So I will delete this configuration property and I want to use secure configuration property, which is not available at your studio level. If anything is not available, any module, if it is not available at studio level, what you should do? You should get it from the exchange. So go to search in exchange option. You need to log into your anypoint platform account. Here you can see log into anypoint platform account, and you need to search for that with a keyword. We need to look up to the module in your exchange, anypoint platform exchange, with a keyword. You can see here this algorithm is written in a different way. Actually, if I search for the same thing again, it will give the output. So Mule Secure Configuration Property Extension is the name of that module. So you just add that module as a dependency to your project. So is it added? Yeah. There are no connectors for that. It's a module. We need to configure this module. So go to the global element, create secure properties config. So what is the file name? db hyphen secure hyphen secure one hyphen dev dot ml file. And what is the key I used? Ensure that there is no additional spaces, prefix, or after the last character. Okay. And what is the algorithm I used? Blowfish. So MuleSoft support wide variety of algorithms here. So let's go with the Blowfish. So what I'm trying to do by using the secure properties config, tell me what I'm trying to do there.
Decrypt.
Decrypt the values and passing that values to database connection. One small change you need to do at your connection, sorry, at your database property level. If you are fetching the values from a plain file, you can simply use a db.host. If you are getting the value from a secured file, then you need to add secure colon colon as a prefix to the property. Whatever the externalized properties are there, further properties you need to give secure colon colon. Okay. But if I give the test connection now, will it work? It will work because I have hard coded the file name instead of passing that as a input argument. I have hard coded that value, correct? Because I don't have any production environment. While you're practicing, you know how to pass that dynamically as well. So can I deploy this application now? Is there anything else I need to change? I have encrypted a file and I pass the values to that connection, correct? So let's run the project. Yes, if my secure properties and if my externalization both are correct, once I send a request, I should get a same response. Let's test it. So it is deployed. Let me send the request. Yes, yes, understand. So if you can observe that many people will think that since I have given earlier db-secure-dev.yaml file, earlier sessions I used to have db-secure-dev.yaml file. Since I'm using a secure in the name of the file, they think that I'm using the in the database connection, the properties I'm writing in the same way here. That is not related to that. So that is the syntax we need to add a secure. Of course, you can use any name here. That is the reason, just to differentiate, that I have given a secure one. Okay, that is not related to the name. Understood, everyone? Yes, no?
Yes.
If you can see, how many projects are there under database? Two projects, right? What are the global elements we have common in externalization and database? Here, if you go to the global elements here, and if you go to the global elements here, what are the common configurations I have? HTTP and a database
Yes.
connection, right? Assume that in database endpoint project also I have a secured file. So then all the three will be in a common, right? So am I not writing that configurations repeatedly, same configurations repeatedly,
Yes.
right? So what is an idea?
Externalize data set.
Externalize this properties to some other file, and from there you can refer to the local project. So that is nothing but a domains. So I cannot stress more on my throat, so I'll stop here for today. We will discuss about domains, and I'm going to give some assignment till the database concept. Okay, assignment means it's like a mini project, you can say. I will give some requirement, and I want you to fulfill that requirement by day after tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow I will give that requirement, but meanwhile please complete whatever the backlogs you have till the database concept. Okay,
Okay.
I will stop here. Thank you.